Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this how to play video, I'm going to take a look at Budget Mech Token Druid. I built a Budget Mech Token Druid already back in May, and that was very successful. In fact, looking at all the statistics, it turned out to be the most successful budget deck that I built. But I think it can be improved upon, especially with the buff patch out, and we have Snip Snap in the game now, and Snip Snap obviously deserves a place in a token deck. So, looking at the statistics of the previous version, there were two cards that were not performing quite as well as the rest. One of them is Forest Shade, the 8 mana spell that I have cut completely from this build, and the other card is Harvest Golem. So these two cards, Harvest Golem just lacks a little bit of power. It's doing okay in this deck, but not great, and Forest Shade typically comes too late. When you're on a budget, you don't have those Whispering Woods and stuff like that, then just Forest Shade doesn't typically help you. You want to be a little bit faster when you're on a budget. You don't have stuff like Ziliax to gain health. So it's generally better to go with a little bit of faster plan, Explodinators, Replicating Menaces, than to trust in Forest Shade coming late in the game to save you. So because of these considerations, I have made 3 changes to the deck from the previous version. I put in Snip Snap, I put in Archmage Vargot. This probably should have been in the first version too. I just thought that because it's a limited time promotion that I wouldn't use it. But this time I opted to use both limited time promotions, Snip Snap and Vargot, which are available for free until the early days of July for all players, because they just give the deck so much more punch. And then I have chosen to include 1 copy of Spellbreaker. Silence effects have turned out to be really useful in the current meta. And while I was a little bit skeptical, okay, do I really need a silence effect in a deck like this just tries to overwhelm the opponent? I ended up using 1, because stuff like Missile Launcher Venomizer combo that just prevents you from gaining any board, those are just pretty annoying to deal with, and Spellbreaker can help me with that, as well as with some big taunt minions that Mech Paladin can put together. So this version of the deck, it still runs 1 Harvest Golem, and that is probably the weakest card in the deck. So if you have like Ziliax, you could put that in. If you face a lot of warriors, you might want to switch this for 1 copy of Forest Shade. Warrior is basically the only matchup where Forest Shade is useful. Or if you happen to have like 1 copy of Whispering Woods, then this would be the slot to fit it in the deck. Other than that, well, it is a Token Druid deck, and the main way Token Druid wins games is with Savage Roar. You build a board of tokens, you make it difficult to remove. You have Soul of the Forest if needed, so if you can get some tokens on the board, you can Soul of the Forest them. That often just locks the opponent out of the game. If they can't clear the board, then afterwards Savage Roar is going to come in. In addition to Savage Roar, you can sometimes also deal a ton of damage by just buffing up the minions. There's 2 copies of Blessing of the Ancients in the deck, there's 2 copies of Power of the Wild in the deck. So you can make pretty big minions when you have a token board. And then you also want to think about, okay, do I buff them up first or do I buff them up later? If I have like Soul of the Forest, do I wait for that to trigger and then buff the Tree Ants? And it all really depends on what sort of removal options your opponent has, because you're trying to make a board that's difficult to remove. Soul of the Forest is one way to do that, Replicating Menace does that, Snip Snap does that, Harvest Golem even does that to an extent, Mecharoo, all these death rattles. And then you're trying to protect them so that the opponent can't clear them all. Sometimes you want to buff the main bodies so that the opponent doesn't have enough mana to first clear the main body and then clear the tokens that come out. And sometimes you can save your buffs for later, try to buff the tokens that come out. There's a lot of ways to do that. And the deck also includes Archmage Vargot now. So Archmage Vargot, at the end of your turn, cast a spell you cast this turn. Targets are random. Typically you want to use Archmage Vargot with a single spell so that you know what the result is going to be, at least to an extent. Like you play Archmage Vargot and Power of the Wild, and it will choose one randomly too, so you will either get +1/+1 or a 3/2 Panther at the end of the turn. One move that I also really like is Archmage Vargot and Swipe if that's possible, because Swipe always targets enemies. Swipe cannot target friendly minions, so you are guaranteed to get Swipe, not necessarily to the face but maybe to a minion. But you will get that 2 points of AoE damage if you Vargot and Swipe, because 1 damage is dealt to all other enemies. So you get to choose one of the main targets, the other one will be random, but all enemies will get the AoE damage at least. The deck can sometimes be a little slow to get started, and that's the vulnerability. Sometimes you just get snowballed out of the game by galvanizers and all sorts of stuff, which is also why Spellbreaker can help you a little bit. In general, you try to mulligan really hard for your early game. Acorn Bearer, Mecharoo. These are the key cards you really want to find a 1-drop, and there are only 4 in the deck, which makes it a little bit vulnerable. It's just hard to find more good 1-drops for this archetype. But you try to find these, Dreamway Guardians, Cable Rat, Microtech Controller. That's typically what you're looking for. But in addition to looking for those 1-drops and the other cards, you're also trying to find a good curve. So you can also keep some of the more expensive cards, like Vargot, Explodinator, Replicating Menace, if you already have a good early game. And from there, you just try to build your board so that it's as difficult to remove as possible, because the more minions you have available, the better your buffs, the better your Savage Roars will be. And if your opponent struggles to remove your board, then you can just go for a lethal blow. The main thing about playing this deck is managing your buffs, managing your tokens, managing your death rattles, so that you play around as much removal from the opponent as you can. And then you will be ready to strike at a moment's notice. If you enjoy this content, then please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more. And now, let's go take a look at Budget Mech Token Druid in action. Maybe I'll try with that anyway. Let's see. Could have also potentially kept the Soul of the Forest. Well, we'll see. I want to start with the Acorn Bearer anyway. I don't think I want to coin anything, although coin Mecharoo was an option. Is he going to have a buff for the Scale Hide? Well, even if he does, he can't really use it yet. So I'll try with the Dreamway Guardians here. Let's try this. I had the option to go Mecharoo, Squirrel. Then I had the option to like coin Replicating Menace. He rolls Leok, which is a good roll. Maybe I should have went with the Mecharoo line. That's possible. Yeah, I don't want to leave a Leok up. So I'll kill off the Leok, and I'll play the Mecharoo now. Then, in order to get rid of Mecharoo, he would need to have a Spring Paw. If there's no Spring Paw, then I can probably magnetize a Replicating Menace on that. And then magnetize Replicating Menace on the other hand, that can deal with stuff. Yeah, this is looking pretty decent now. Magnetize that Replicating Menace on that one. So I get to kill off this Leok. Now, obviously, if he has an Unleash, he can answer this board here. Does he have an Unleash? It was not a kept card. Okay, well, he could find Spring Paw and kill 2 of these. That would still be half decent. Alright, but I think this is still looking pretty decent for me as well. Because I can do Squirrel, Squirrel, coin Soul of the Forest. Because I can do this now. So now it will be much more difficult for him to get me off this board. And I have double Blessing of the Ancients, if necessary for next turn. Or Harvest Golem Blessing of the Ancients. Tundra Rhino is pretty sweet. So if I play double Blessing of the Ancients, then I can use just one of these to kill that. And save, hold on to the death rattles. I think that's fairly valuable at the moment. Let's do that. Use the Blessing of the Ancients. Trade away the Tundra Rhino. Push a little bit of face damage. I don't have to worry about my hand size, because I don't have Whispering Woods anyway. So nothing in this deck requires me to have a lot of cards in hand. Okay, kill command to kill the mech. Absolutely correct. He has an Unleash the Hounds too. Does he also have a Timberwolf? He has a Timberwolf too. I mean, this is getting a bit of a trend here. Everyone having Unleash, everyone having Timberwolf. So Harvest Golem, Gable Rat, Hero Power is an option. That could be one way to do things. I do need to kill the Timberwolf, so I think I'll go for that. Let's get a Lucky first. Goblin Lucky, potentially useful. Could use that even together with the Replicating Menace now, but nah, killing Timberwolf, it's just not worth it. I think Hero Powering down Timberwolf is fine. Push 3 to the face. Put him down to 19. He still has some beasts left from the Master's Call. No random spells at the moment. Dire Frenzied Hyena. Okay. Do I just ignore this hyena? What if he has a second Unleash? But if I trade the hyena, I would need to trade the hyena like I could do Replicating Menace on this and hit. Then I could do Goblin Lucky and Blessing of the Ancients. So that a simple Unleash doesn't do it. I think I'll do that. Use this to kill off that one. Make some tokens. Use this to buff that one. And buff up the whole board a little bit. So, I mean, Explosive Trap doesn't solve this because I have another Blessing of the Ancients. Unleash doesn't solve this because everything has 2 health. He would need to have another Unleash and another Timberwolf. He spent all the beasts that he drew with the Master's Call. And the Dire Frenzied Beast is a Scavenging Hyena which has no immediate effect on the game. Would I keep a Microtech controller? It's not a bad 3-drop. Nah, I mulligan everything for a 1-drop. So someone play Owl in Token Druid. Yeah, I've seen Owl too, but I mean, what's the benefit? It costs 1 less, so you can potentially weave in something, but there's no breakpoint where that's useful in Token Druid typically. Alright, that would be some mechs. And I was only now able to find a 1-drop. I probably need to kill the Mekaru here with the Hero Power. I mean, you use Owl when you're playing a deck where that 1 mana difference makes the difference and you don't use the body for anything. If you just want the silence effect, you don't care about the body, and you can do things with 1 mana. That's when you use Owl. But this just doesn't look like that deck. Because this uses the bodies. Maybe if we... Yeah, but I'm running Spellbreaker. That's the whole point. And I don't see the breakpoint in this deck where 3 mana is so much better that it allows me to do other things, so that I would want to skip the Spellbreaker. Oh dear, oh dear. So when this die he gets random mechs. Ouch. But if I play Explodinator, he can just clean that up really easily. Ouch. I think I still need to play the Explodinator. Yeah, Cybertech is bad, but I mean, I didn't gain any early tempo. He got tons. So, because of that, Cybertech just might be enough for him in this particular game. I can wipe this board, but he's going to have a bunch of mechs in hand. I think I still have to go for that. Otherwise I'll never deal with the board. I mean, I can do double Sneap Snap next turn, so that might help me. He doesn't have silence, but he has some hard removal and missile launchers. He top-decked the Galvanizer. Sure he did. I need to try the Sneap Snap and hope there's no missile launchers. It's double snip snap on this one, right? I think so. Kill that one. Hope there's no missile launcher. I just need a little bit more time to get to the soul of the forest. But do I have that time? I don't know. I didn't find any early tempo, which meant that I have been fighting from behind the whole game. And he had double galvanizers, so that's the epitome of tempo. He probably doesn't have any silence effects, but he has hard removal. But if he hard removes and he doesn't have a missile launcher, then I'm cool with that, because I get all the 1/1s. He needs the missile launcher. He has a missile launcher, it turns out. Well. I have to Savage Roar down the missile launcher, then I can play the Replicating Menace. That way I might be able to set up something, but now I have one Savage Roar in the deck, none in hand, so this might not be good enough. It's a good magnetization platform too. I probably still need to kill the Ursatron, right? Probably, yeah. So kill the Ursatron. Proc the Death Rattle. Play the Dreamway Guardians. Play the Soul of the Forest. Do I Wrath this for a card? No, I'm going to Hero Power phase. Magnetizations on the frame but are scary. I have some lifesteal here in case there's no missile launcher Venomizer, but because that missile launcher that he used was a random one, so that means that he could still have more missile launchers coming. Oh no, it's the infamous triple snip snap. Triple snip snap and go phase. Set up lethal for next turn. Not a bad plan at all. Well, these are going to heal me, so that's something. Because I can play triple Blessing of the Ancients, so I can heal for 8. I think that's the best thing I can do here. Maybe he doesn't have enough damage then. I mean, I don't have a Savage Roar. But I do heal for 8, but I put him down to 3, so he needs to have 8 from hand with the hero power. Does he have that much damage from hand? I don't expect him to have. It's possible though. There's a couple of discounted mechs too, so maybe he does. 10 overall damage needed from hand. Let's see. I had the alternative to spend, well, 4 of the minions to kill this. And then he would have had a board full of 1/1s anyway. So I thought this was the better line. Because of the healing from the Dryads means that his lethal setup wasn't quite as convincing. And he can't get rid of all this stuff because of Soul of the Forest. He could have Ziliax. Ziliax probably wins, but I mean I can't play around that. Right, I need to find some 1-drops. I find a 1-drop. That's good. I like 1-drops. Hunter kept 1 card. Okay. Econ Bearer time. Let's go. Bomb toss. Right. Well, we do Cable Rat, and if I get the right kind of lackey, I can use it here. Well, that's a pretty weak lackey. I think I'll still use it. I think I need to still use it. I can hope to roll a good 3-drop. Well, that is a pretty decent 3-drop. Okay. Because if I got rush or 2 damage, so I had 40% to kill this goblin bomb with the play I made. That is why I chose that play. Okay, we're killing that. And we're killing this. I don't want to leave him the magnetization platform. And then I guess we're playing a squirrel. He cannot play a missile launcher yet. I don't have any mechs on board. That's a bit of a downside. We could look for an Unleash. Unleash would do nicely here because I don't have any buffs available at the moment. Galvanizer always does nicely. I mean, I could sacrifice all of these minions to kill both of these mechs. If I have just the individual minion on the board, like an Archmage Vargot, that is really weak. I think I will sacrifice all of these. I'll sacrifice all of these, clear up his mechs, and get replicating menas out there. Because this has a death rattle, so it's much better than the other things. Alright, alright. He's getting closer to the point where he can just do nasty things. Such as missile. I mean, missile launcher is already playable. Missile launcher Venomizer can start to be playable. I need to have death rattles to counter that. I'll probably just rat down the Ursatron. That's what I'm thinking at the moment. Yeah, I keep that. I hold on to that Rush Lackey. I play Squirrel. I rat down the Ursatron, but I hit him in the face. So that I get to keep stuff. I need death rattles in order to keep stuff if he goes for some kind of missile launcher plays.
What is my purpose?
That's kind of scary. And I need to do some snip snapping, right? He still has the bombs to magnetize on. 4 health, down to 3 health. Magnetize the missile launcher, kill that. Yeah, that's a little awkward. But that's what I need to do here. I'm snip snapping here. And then I'm doing one plain snip snap over here. This one trades away the 1-5. These ones trade away the 3-2. So, sure he can magnetize, but unless he can magnetize enough to kill both of these, then even the infamous missile launcher Venomizer combo doesn't completely clear. But I have stuff like the Goblin Lackey, the Spellbreaker, the Swipe. I have some interesting stuff coming. We just see he has quite a lot of resources left with 5 cards. That's the missile launcher. That takes care of quite a few of these minions. But still not all of them, so it's not too bad. He could have another one. I can't do hero power into Vargot, Power of the Wild. I could do Vargot, Goblin Lackey to kill this, and then I could do Power of the Wild. I actually think I like that. I think I like that a lot. Let's do that. And we're going for that line. Give Vargot rush. So Vargot can kill this mech. This can kill that mech. And then I'm going to play the +1/+1 to my minions with the buff. I could have also summoned the Panther, of course, to have more minions on the board. That was an alternative. But this is the line that kept the Vargot out of reach of a bomb toss. He could have something else. 9, 12. 12 plus 8 plus... I mean, that is 12 plus 8. That's 20. If I swipe the But I think that's pretty attractive of a play, actually. I go well, but how is he going to kill me from 12 when there's no mechs on board?
Time grows short.
It's swipe time. All of this is going face. And then Vargot will cast another swipe. And swipe always targets enemies. So the whole board is guaranteed to die. There will be no mechs left to magnetize on. And he is at 11. Even if he has the missile launcher Venomizer, I still get 2 microbots. 2 plus 6, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I will have lethal. I will have lethal through a Venomizer missile launcher combo here. He had the combo, and I mean it's a nice combo. But I have lethal through that when I made the play. Maybe I can try to keep Soul of the Forest. Alright, make Karoo. Do you think if we took a hench clan and so far for 2 sea giants? Maybe. I mean, you have to test all the changes to decks, of course. Okay, Levens, sure. But yeah, Dawson, you have to test changes. That's the whole purpose. If I knew what was good before I played anything, then I would not be playing this deck right now. I would just make the deck and put it on somewhere. So every time I'm often asked about, okay, could I do this, could I do that? But the answer is, well, you need to test it. Maybe you can. So that's a Bomb Warrior. I think I'm going with the Explodinator. I have bombs too. My bombs are a little bit weaker than yours maybe, but according to the patch notes, when Vargot was revealed in April, Vargot is available until July something. I can't remember if it's July 7 or July 9 or what is it, but Vargot is available until July. Okay, face tank. Ooh, interesting. Getting rid of the death rattles. Soul of the Forest. But he can just hit and then he can still do things. So I actually need to just make Karoo and Blessing. He still gets a bunch of kills. Is this a race? I mean, I could swipe the Elec, but what good would that do? I think it is just make Karoo and Blessing. And punch him in the face. Let's try this approach. I don't really care how many bombs I have in the deck. The only thing where I would care about that could be Blastmaster Boom. I think I can always get enough bombs to activate Blastmaster Boom. He can do 2 copies of Warpath this turn. That doesn't kill much of anything from this board. Unlike if I had played Soul of the Forest, then his Warpaths could have cleared it up. But I probably just don't mind. I simply don't care about the bombs. That's the big thing. But we'll see if that comes back and bite me. Maybe if he has a Ziliax. Two more mana. Well, what are you going to do with that 2 mana? Armor up, maybe? I still can't get a good Soul of the Forest here. I don't know what that was all about. I mean, he can still have... That was probably a Shield Slam, right? I can't get Soul of the Forest together with some other stuff. I can get Blessing, of course. What if he just Warpaths everything away? Some tough choices. He could have the Warpath. There's nothing really to indicate one way or the other. I could do Dreamway Guardian, Soul of the Forest next turn. Let's see if he has that Warpath up there. I mean, Dinomatic does nothing because everything is a mech. I can do Dreamway Guardian, Soul of the Forest next turn, so if anything here sticks, I can just Soul of the Forest it next turn. So the Warpath is out. That's an out that I can't really take away. If I had done Blessing of... yeah. That is an out that I can't take away. I just don't have a lot of minions here. Dinomatic is getting much better right now. Shield Slam Dinomatic is a board clear. This one needs to hit in. Not a whole lot I can do about that. Any way for me to get... Can I mean, if I would find some minions, that would be sweet.
Time grows short.
I mean, I still could. I think this is the line I need to take here. I think this is the line I need to take. I mean, now simple Dinomatic clears this board, and there are lots of cards that he has had in hand for a long time, so there could definitely be Dinomatics there. But if I can top deck like a Microtech Controller, something, then I might be able to combine that with Soul of the Forest. That might work. I just don't have what it takes. I need a minion. Well, he didn't have Dinomatic in hand, I suppose. Because if he did, then there was no hurry, because he could just Dinomatic. But if he doesn't have an answer... Okay, he does have a Militia Commander. I find an Evil Cable Rat. But I like Evil Cable Rats. Evil Cable Rats are fun. Witchy-Lackeys are fine. Let's turn that into a 3-drop. At the end of my turn. Too bad I can't really make use of that. This is all of the Forest turn. Hit face. We'll see if I can make anything out of this or not. Not sure yet. He clearly did not have a Dinomatic. He could have another Warpath, and he can do quadruple Warpath, which is a full board clear. Actually, triple Warpath is enough, if he hits with the Militia Commander into the Imp Master. Now he doesn't even have to hit if he picks up a Warpath, or if he has a Warpath otherwise. But I don't have any Savage Roars. Knowns to me, but unbeknownst to him. This is interesting. He shuffled a lot of bombs into my deck. He went all in on getting those bombs going. Completely opposite. I ignored the bombs. But I haven't been able to draw just that last bit of damage. Oh no, don't with lifesteal. I have to silence that, right? But then if he finds Ciliax... Well, there's the roar. So if I silence that and I roar, I deal 3 plus 8, 11 damage. We're pretty close, but not quite there. Ciliax wins him the game. I think Ciliax always wins him the game, right?
Your magic shall not save.
Here we go. Let's try. Everything goes to face. I have 4 from hand with the swipe. But if there's a Ciliax, I don't have another silence. But I didn't think I had a play that would not make Ciliax win. I could kill this, delay the game a long time, because I would give him a lot of health. Then I have the potential ability to silence Ciliax, but I doubt whether that would have been good enough. Having 4 from hand, without minions. He had a brawl. So he had that brawl all along. He just didn't want to brawl. Okay. What do you have for your 4 mana? Nothing. We take that game too. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.